Hello and welcome from Vigil Health Solutions. This video will guide you through the basics of setting up room rules for your memory care residents. There are 7 types of calls you can receive from a memory care room. These rules can be tailored to your individual resident's needs. We will walk through setting up each call type in the software. Make sure you are at a computer with the Vigil Remote software installed. Log in to Vigil Remote with your username and password. If you don't have one, please either contact your administrator or call Vigil. Once you're logged in, go to Resident Room Settings, then search by room number for the room you would like to set up, and click Find. Click on Memory Care Room Settings. We are now in the area where we can start setting the room rules. The room rules are listed down the left-hand side of the screen. Room rules need 2 things to work: a check mark beside the rule and the time of day to alert staff. Let's start with the out-of-bed rule. Click in the check mark beside the out-of-bed rule and then click in the cell under Time On. You can use these arrows to move the time up or down, keeping in mind that you need to use the 24-hour clock. Click in the off cell and just make the time match what you put in the other cell. When the times match, the system knows it should be on 24 hours a day. Remember, you'll need to put a bed sensor on the resident's bed and plug it into the wall for this rule. Let's also set up a room entered rule. This can be a great rule for people who don't like neighbors wandering into their room at night. Click beside the rule, and let's turn on the rule for just at nighttime, as during the day, most residents will be doing activities out of their room. Say 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. In the Time On, you can type the time you want instead of using the arrows. So if we want the rules to start at 8 p.m., we'll just type 20. We'll put the time off for 6 a.m. You must set up the staff switch off reminder. The recommendation is to have the timer be set to 15 minutes and the rule to be on 24 hours a day, regardless of the times the other rules are on. Put a check beside the staff switch off and under timer, type 15. This delays the call so staff can turn the staff switch off, walk into the room, and spend 15 minutes with the resident before they will get a reminder to turn that switch back on. Make the times match for the on and off, so this rule is on 24 hours a day. Click Save to save your new room rules. Let's do another example. At the bottom of the screen, click Next Resident to go to the next room. You may have someone who is quite stable and independent, but you are still worried about them in the restroom at night. Click beside In Bathroom and type 10 under Timer. This will notify staff if the resident is in the bathroom for longer than 10 minutes. If they come out of the bathroom in 6 minutes, they can just go back to bed with no one bothering them, and the bathroom timer will reset. We still have to set the time. So let's say they settle into their room for the night at 7 p.m. and generally leave the room around 8 a.m. The timer field should only be used for the out-of-bed rule, in bathroom, and the staff switch off. Because the timer field delays the room rule being sent to staff, we don't recommend it for room entered or room departed. It's not terribly useful for the staff to get an alert 10 minutes after a resident has departed a room. Since we just set the in-bathroom rule, let's set the staff switch off reminder. Remember, this must be set for every room that has any of the room rules turned on. In the next room, we'll review setting the restless in room rule. Click Next Resident at the bottom of the screen. This rule should be set carefully and monitored closely so as not to have staff getting alert fatigue. The rule of thumb for Restless in Room is a high count with low minutes. The count is how many times the round room sensor is triggered, and the minimum is 5 counts. The timer is the amount of time the count happens in. So, if we set the count to 5 and the timer to 1, we are telling the system to alert staff if the resident moves under the motion sensor 5 times in 1 minute. This rule should only be set at night. If multiple people are in the room, it would be set off quite often as the motion sensor doesn't know who is moving, so it will pick up all of the people in the room. And of course, we have to set that staff switch off reminder for 24 hours. When you're done, click Save. I mentioned at the beginning of this video the 7 call types, and one was incontinence bed. There is no setting you need to add or adjust for this rule. You simply need to plug in an incontinence sensor into the wall, and when it senses moisture, it will alert staff. If there is a room or a specific rule you would like to disable, you can just uncheck the box beside the rule and it will no longer work. We do also recommend typing 00 in the on and off field, which will remove the times. Click Save. The room is now disabled and ready to set up at a later time. Don't forget to log out. We hope you found this video on memory care room basics helpful. If you have further questions, please email training or give us a call.